Hello, my name is Crystal Wahpepah. I'm the owner of Wahpepah's Kitchen. I'm in Oakland, California, and I am Kickapoo and I'm Sac and Fox. And today we are making a pine nut bean dip. What you'll need is actually some pinto beans, fresh harvested pine nuts, a measuring cup, also a pan for us to roast the pine nuts, along with the saucepan and a blender. If you don't have a blender, it's okay. We can use a potato mash. And what we'll do is we'll start off with 2 cups of beans and we're gonna let them soak overnight. If you don't have the fresh raw beans, it's okay. You can use the beans in a can. So what we're gonna do is boil the beans. What we're gonna do is put our 1 cup of pine nuts onto a pan, and I'm gonna fill you in just a little bit on the pine nuts. As I was growing up with the pine nuts, I used to always sit under this tree and I would wait for them to fall, and then I would actually get a pine nut and actually take them, put them all in the shell, and then from there I would actually roast them right before I would crack it. This bean dip will actually feed up to 15 people. But if it's just by yourself, what we're gonna do is just kind of reduce it to half, because we want the pine nut flavor, which is a good fat, and then we want the bean flavor to come in, which is a good iron. So you're gonna have your fat, your protein all in one. You're gonna have them cook for at least 2 minutes on 350 degrees, and then you'll see they'll kind of be brown on top. And then from there, the more little brown they get, the more flavor they'll get. It's almost kind of like, you just want them a little toasted. So we're gonna actually put the cooled pine nuts right back into its cup, right where it is. And then what we're gonna do is actually come up next to the mixer, and then we have our fresh beans that's been actually cooking for 1.5 hours on the stovetop, or if you have refried beans, it's okay. You don't even have to warm them up. But this one right here has actually been cooking for 2 hours. We're gonna add into the mix. And then we're gonna get ready to blend. And I'm adding the pine nuts into the puree of the pinto beans. And remember, like I said, we have a whole cup of pine nuts, so it's all up to you on flavor. Me personally, I like to put a cup of pine nuts, but sometimes when we do go and forage for pine nuts, it's a lot of process and a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's way worth it, especially with this recipe. For the health benefits of the pine nuts, it's great for your nails. It's really a really natural fat, and sometimes that we tend not to have that natural fat, and so this is why sometimes if you see pine nut, it's kind of it's a natural oils that it produces. So it's a natural oil that we need, natural fat that we need for our body, and also it's a good filler. We're shooting for a thick texture. We want to have the flavor of the beans. We want to have the flavor of the roasted pine nuts mixed all together. Now remember, salt and pepper is your option, but with this recipe, I'm just gonna leave it open, up to you. How thin or thick as you want it, you can add a little water just to kind of dilute it. But me personally, I use it as a creamy dip. As you see from the blender, you see how nice and thick and creamy that is? It's really good. You can put like carrot sticks, for instance. You can put like celery sticks. You can dip so many veggies in here. Also at the same time, if you have crackers, you can put it on crackers. It's really good. And personally, I would love just to stick it on the celery stick, and you can put little pine nuts on a roll on it, and just as a good decoration if you're having a party, or if you want to introduce pine nuts to people that you know and you wanted to do it as a healthy way. This is a good way of introducing pine nuts and also a pinto bean dip.